Hello, seekers of secrets and lovers of lore. Welcome back to Beyond the Map. Today's episode was requested by one of our loyal members, and when you wish upon a treasure, we try to make it happen. So buckle up because we're digging into one of the most iconic, sideburn-rocking, cigar-toting, white suit-wearing American legends of all time. Mark freaking Twain, or as his mama called him, Samuel Langhorne Clemens. Yes, the man behind Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, the riverboat captain turned novelist turned accidental bra-strap inventor, is also tangled up in the roots of American treasure hunting culture more than you might realize. And no, I'm not just saying that because he has an entire riverboat island at Disneyland, although that is awesome. Let's start with the obvious. Now, some of you probably remember this book from school. Others maybe pretended to read it and watch the movie instead. Either way, it's time to dust it off, because inside this classic tale of whitewash fences and boyhood hijinks is a blueprint for modern treasure hunting. Let's go deep, like 2 fathoms, Twain deep. In The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, published in 1876, Twain gave us one of the earliest and most enduring pieces of American treasure lore. You remember it, right? Dead-limbed trees, haunted houses, superstitions, secret gold buried by outlaws. Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn weren't just skipping school and whitewashing fences. They were hardcore treasure hunters. In Chapter 25, the 2 boys launch a classic hunt, searching beneath a spooky old tree and later snooping around a haunted house. They even get tangled up with Injun Joe, who, spoiler alert, turns out to be hiding real treasure in a cave. You see where this is going? Twain didn't just write about boyhood antics. He planted the seeds of something bigger, that treasure hunting could be a mix of imagination, folklore, danger, and just maybe reward. He basically created the original adventure template that still fuels treasure hunts today. Our story kicks off with Tom Sawyer, a barefoot, mischievous, fence-dodging boy living in the fictional town of St. Petersburg, Missouri, based on Twain's real hometown of Hannibal. From the start, you can tell Tom's not like the other kids. He's clever, dramatic, always scheming, and he's got one major dream: to find buried treasure. In Chapter 25, Tom and Huck set off on their first real expedition. They believe that pirates, or maybe robbers, have left treasure behind somewhere. And like all good 10-year-olds with a plan, they pack a pickaxe, a shovel, a bag of snacks, and head for the most logical spot for treasure, under a dead-limbed tree on a hill at midnight. After a failed dig session, Tom and Huck regroup and come up with a new plan: the haunted house. They believe that old, spooky places hold buried loot, a belief rooted in real-world folklore from the American frontier. Twain writes, "They had a vague belief that the Spaniards hid treasures and made ghosts walk guard over them. That sentence alone, made ghosts walk guard over them, is peak treasure lore. Right up there with X marks the spot and beware the curse." Inside the haunted house, they actually witness Injun Joe, the novel's villain, discovering a box of gold and hiding it in McDougal's cave. Cue dramatic irony and many future headaches. There's no literal paper map in Tom Sawyer, no ancient scroll, no crumbling clue. But what Twain gave us instead was even better: a mental map of how children, and let's be honest, adult treasure hunters too, think about treasure. Tom and Huck ask the same questions we all do. Where would you hide gold? Would ghosts guard it? Can you dig for it without being cursed? What tools would you need? Would there be a riddle? It's not just about treasure, it's about curiosity, fear, imagination, myth. Twain is mapping the psychology of seekers and giving us a prototype for every treasure hunt story that followed. So now we come to the climax. After a long, winding storyline full of mischief, love notes, and fence-swapping schemes, Tom ends up lost in McDougal's cave with Becky Thatcher. And who does he run into? Yup, Injun Joe. The stakes are high, it's dark, there's no way out. But in the end, Tom escapes and then returns to the cave with Huck to retrieve the gold. They find the treasure, and in true fantasy fashion, their lives are changed forever. Huck is adopted. Tom gets the glory, And Twain gives us one of the most satisfying treasure endings in all of literature. Twain ends the arc by saying, "There comes a time in every rightly constructed boy's life when he has a raging desire to go somewhere and dig for hidden treasure." Amen. Let's break down just how many treasure tropes Twain created or popularized with this book. Dead trees as dig sites, haunted houses as clue locations, evil villains guarding the gold, treasure hidden in a cave. The idea that courage and cleverness are required to succeed, the emotional transformation that comes after the find. Sound familiar? That's basically every treasure movie from Goonies to National Treasure to Outer Banks. Heck, even Indiana Jones owes Tom Sawyer a handshake and a slice of pie. Want to walk in Tom's dusty footprints? Mark Twain. Boyhood Home and Museum is in Hannibal, Missouri. Explore the real-life inspiration behind St. Petersburg. The museum includes reconstructions of locations from the novel, exhibits on treasure lore, and yes, replicas of McDougal's Cave. Or tour Mark Twain Cave Complex. You can tour actual caves in Hannibal, said to be the model for the book's treasure chamber. Bring a flashlight, and maybe a friend. Here's the twist. Twain wasn't just writing an adventure. He was critiquing society too. He used Tom's search for treasure as a metaphor for boyhood ambition, the transition from innocence to maturity, America's obsession with wealth and legacy. Tom's treasure hunt is really about growing up, trading fantasy for responsibility. But Twain lets him have it all. He finds the gold and keeps the wonder. Maybe that's the real message for us too. Quick facts to drop at dinner. Tom Sawyer was the first novel ever written on a typewriter. Twain claimed it was based on 3 real boys he knew growing up. Twain said, "Most of the adventures recorded in this book really occurred. The real Injun Joe was inspired by a man named Joe Douglas, whose ghost supposedly haunts the Hannibal Cave today. There are geocaches hidden near the real Mark Twain Cave, if you're looking for a modern-day nod. Tom and Huck didn't have metal detectors. They didn't use LiDAR scans or coordinate grids. They didn't have Patreon memberships or Discord clue drops. They had a shovel, a dream, and a whole lot of guts." Age is an issue of mind over matter. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter. That's the spirit of treasure hunting, and that's the legacy of Tom Sawyer. So if you're feeling stuck on your own search, literary or literal, maybe take a cue from Tom. Head into the cave, keep your eyes open, and don't be afraid of ghosts.
I'm dropping the full-length version of this video in the members area. A full-length deep dive episode on one of the most iconic literary legends in American history. And maybe one of the original treasure hunters in disguise, Mark Twain. This one was requested by one of our awesome members. And you know the deal. If you ask, I try my best to deliver. So this is your episode. This episode is jam-packed with humor, history, hidden gold, and good old-fashioned Twain wisdom. Here's one of my favorite quotes from the man himself. "The 2 most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why." Mark Twain. Maybe, just maybe, your why has something to do with maps, mysteries, and moonlit cave searches. You never know. So grab a coffee, a journal, or maybe a cigar if you're feeling particularly Twainy. And enjoy this special full episode, available exclusively for our amazing members like you. Thanks so much for watching, and for being part of this incredible treasure hunting community. Mark Twain once said, "Do not put off until tomorrow what can be put off until the day after tomorrow just as well. But I say, don't wait too long to chase your treasure." More episodes are on the way soon, and if you ever want to request a topic, just drop it in the comments or shoot me a message. I truly read them all. Until then, keep your compass steady, your notebook open, and always remember, sometimes the map isn't on paper. Sometimes it's hidden in plain story. See you in the next one, adventurers.